And you've said before, Morgan, that you're a man of God. When you did this, and so many of these questions were posed.
When did I say I was a man of God?
You're not?
No, no.
You're a man of faith.
Faith.
God is always seen as the guiding light and unshakable faith for millions of people, but not everyone accepts God as their guide, and sometimes faith in God is betrayed by those who were once the most devoted followers. Among them are stars, legends, who went against the beliefs they were raised with from birth. They rejected God's existence and even acted in opposition to sacred teachings. Who are they? And why did they choose the path of betraying God? The stories I'm about to tell will reveal the reasons why 13 black stars no longer believe in the faith they once worshipped wholeheartedly. 13. Morgan Freeman, devout Baptist lamb, calls God an imaginary product and mocks it in films. Morgan Freeman, an icon in Hollywood cinema, is famous for his legendary roles, as well as being a talented TV host and voice actor. Born in Memphis, Tennessee, Freeman grew up in a strict Baptist family, where Christianity wasn't just a belief, but the foundation of life. His devout grandmother's strictness built a solid base for his faith in his childhood years. However, Freeman's life took a sudden turn, making him one of Hollywood's most prominent figures, with controversial atheistic views. Freeman started doubting Christian faith as a teenager. Back then, he was exposed to science and new ideas. But it wasn't until the 1970s to 1980s, when his acting career started taking off, that these doubts were publicly revealed. And gradually, he denied God's existence. In 2010, in a CNN interview, Freeman didn't hesitate to declare, "God does not exist." As an actor, he once played God in the film Bruce Almighty, 2003, a legendary role, but now he uses that image to mock religion. And that was just the beginning of Freeman's journey, abandoning faith. In 2016, while participating in the series The Story of God, he identified as an atheist, stating that God is just a human imaginary product created to explain things that can't be explained in life. Such a firm declaration, but his journey abandoning faith wasn't simple at all. Freeman went through an intense spiritual struggle. Though raised in a religious environment, science and new knowledge expanded his view, making him realize the contradictions between science and religion. He believed Christianity was just a tool for people to cope with fears of death, natural disasters, and uncontrollable things. Not only that, the racial discrimination he endured throughout his youth made Freeman feel religion didn't help seek liberation, but instead was just a form of control for the black community. So in the program The Story of God, Freeman candidly shared his views on religion and the world. He constantly criticized Christian doctrine, saying it divided people into good-evil extremes, making humans conflicted and losing unity. At the same time, he found comfort in other religions, especially Buddhism and Hinduism, where he believed there was greater understanding and tolerance. Freeman used his powerful voice to spread this view to millions. He made all of Hollywood and the world change how they see celebrities, when they're not just silver screen stars, but pioneers in reshaping society's beliefs. But with all those strong views, Freeman faced no small amount of opposition. In a world where stars often stay silent about their beliefs, Freeman chose the opposite path, abandoning a religion that shaped his childhood to seek something newer, more real, and freer. 12. Samuel L. Jackson supports abortion and homosexuality, calls religion a control tool. Samuel L. Jackson, one of the greatest names in cinema, is known through roles full of personality. Going through childhood in Chattanooga, Tennessee, he was raised in a Southern Baptist family, where religion wasn't just faith, but the core of black community life. He went to church from a young age, sang in the choir, and studied the Bible, soaking in faith values in a world full of racism. But Jackson's path pursuing faith wasn't smooth, and the religious community he once trusted betrayed him. The change started in the 1960s when he joined the Civil Rights Movement and Black Panthers. Those struggles against racism opened his eyes to a world full of contradictions, where religion wasn't always on the side of the weak. Gradually, Jackson's doubts about Christianity grew. In the 1970s, facing addiction, he distanced from church and started feeling religion didn't give him the real support he needed. Right in that tough phase, he realized religion didn't help black people overcome adversity, but instead was just a tool controlling class and race. The civil rights movement and Marxism influence further increased his doubts about faith. By 2013, he publicly denied his talent was God-given. That was a shock not just to fans, but the Christian community, where worship and faith in God are top. Not stopping there. In 2016, at the BET Awards, Jackson thanked God for his career, but it seemed just sarcasm when right after, he immediately criticized religion for not really helping the black community, not bringing real change to their lives. In later interviews, Jackson nonstop criticized Christianity, especially when it created boundaries between us and them, making minority groups like LGBTQ+ and abortion supporters feel alienated. So, Jackson no longer saw religion as the answer to everything. Instead, he found strength in self-reliance. That helped him overcome big life and career challenges. His Jules role in Pulp Fiction, 1994, somewhat reflected his views when the character quotes the Bible but is full of sin, becoming a symbol for religion's opposition. Films like The Sunset Limited, 2011, continued affirming Samuel L. Jackson's doubting religion image, supporting abortion and LGBTQ+ rights, views opposite traditional doctrine. The special point is, though publicly abandoning religion, Jackson still keeps Bible reading and donates to Baptist churches. Just he's no longer devout. Instead, he sees himself as a spiritual person, not a blind believer. Despite criticism, Jackson stays firm with his views. He believes personal effort matters more than blind faith, and he doesn't hesitate to stand against a religion he sees as a control tool for the oppressed. 11. Alice Walker abandons Christianity for pantheism, for black women's rights. Alice Walker, famous writer and film producer, is known not just for The Color Purple, but as an icon of feminism and free thought values. Born in a black Baptist family in Eatonton, Georgia, Walker grew up in a society full of racism and poverty surrounded. Religion became a spiritual anchor, a comfort source for her family in tough years. Praying, singing hymns, and church services were essential parts of her life, but after exposure to feminism and enduring pains of gender and racial discrimination, she completely changed her view on Christianity. Everything started turning when Walker entered adulthood, when she went to college and deeply exposed to feminist ideas. The work The Color Purple, born in 1982, was her first crystallization with totally new thought. Character Celie in this work publicly betrayed God, abandoning the Christian faith she was taught from childhood. But looking deep into the character's journey, people see this as a strong awakening about issues Walker faced her whole life: oppression of gender and race, and religion used as a control tool. Just a year later, Alice Walker officially declared abandoning Christianity and switching to pantheism, seeing nature and universe as sacred entities. For her, Christianity wasn't a place to seek salvation, but a control system. Walker saw religion had been enslaved and used to oppress women, especially black women. God, in the image Christianity built, was a masculine, white, powerful entity, and couldn't include values she treasured: freedom, equality, and respect for identity. Her experiences of racial and gender discrimination, plus deep feminism influence and African culture, helped Walker shake off blindness to traditional religion. She no longer believed in a personal God, switching to faith in nature and universe, things much faster. With these awakenings, she became a strong atheism icon, inspiring many black women to abandon oppressive religion. However, The Color Purple, as well as Walker herself, faced heavy criticism from conservatives, especially Christians. The work banned in many schools were seen as publicly criticizing religion. But despite all, it won the 1983 Pulitzer and adapted into a famous film. Alice Walker's strong views on sexual freedom, self-salvation, and free thought created fierce debate waves, but also opened a revolution in viewing religion and women's rights. From there, Walker became an icon for a cultural revolution. Her story isn't just abandoning faith, but a strong awakening, a thought breakthrough, and life values. And in this journey, Alice Walker made the whole world rethink values we see as sacred. 10. Whoopi Goldberg calls Hitler a Christian and mocks prayer on The View. Whoopi Goldberg, talented actress and famous host, stands out not just with massive career, but as Hollywood's controversy icon. Whoopi was raised in a Catholic environment with mixed Jewish and Catholic family. Her childhood years tied to church, praying, and Bible study at St. Columba Catholic School. Faith was a huge spiritual anchor for her in Chelsea Elliott slum full of challenges. But also from those life experiences, Whoopi started deep doubts. As a young adult, Whoopi faced hardships like heavy addiction and career failures. That's the first reason leading to her change in viewing religion. The 1970s were when she seriously reviewed what she was taught in church. Then, doubts and dissatisfaction with Catholic doctrine's hypocrisy grew. She realized her church childhood years didn't bring real comfort. Feelings of racism, plus pressures from addiction, made Whoopi see Catholicism as just a fake shell, no real value supporting her facing challenges. Plus, she felt deep disagreement with church views on abortion and LGBTQ+ rights. That further strengthened her desire to abandon religion. Not only that, in her eyes, Catholic doctrine became a tool maintaining oppression, dividing communities, making her feel more alien to a religion she once trusted. Whoopi's dissatisfaction built up and pushed her to decide. In 1980, first joining Spook Show play, she publicly mocked religion. From then, she became one of Hollywood's prominent with atheism views, peaking in 2015, when she publicly stated religion is just human product. Right that year, she met Pope Francis, but she still didn't hesitate publicly criticizing church views. In an interview, she even bluntly called Hitler a Christian to demean religion she saw as fake. In her time on Sister Act, 1992, as a nun, Whoopi clearly showed her attitude that loyalty to religion isn't the answer to her real problems. Conservative Catholic doctrine didn't fit modern society reality, so she abandoned all faith in a personal God and turned to so-called free religion, where people can decide their beliefs without rigid religious rules. On The View, she once mocked prayer and supported abortion, LGBTQ+ rights, issues she believed need respect. But that frankness made Whoopi heavily criticized for bias, seen as going against traditional religious values. 9. Neil deGrasse Tyson doubts God because of science, rejects all Christian labels. Neil deGrasse Tyson, one of the world's most famous scientists, changed views on universe and science. Born in a black Catholic family in Bronx, New York, Tyson grew up in a devout environment. His mom was strict Catholic, and church was where he sought comfort in years full of challenges. But after a short time, instead of clinging to faith he was taught from childhood, Tyson stepped into path betraying God. As a kid, he once asked a priest a tough question about universe. Why did God create the universe 13.8 billion years ago, not sooner or later? The answer he got was just, "That's a mystery," making him feel religion avoided all real evidence, avoiding science and truth. That answer sparked his faith shake, making him gradually feel the explanations about universe and life religion gave were absurd. Into teen years, Tyson, always passionate about astronomy, increasingly doubted what he was taught. He couldn't accept clear contradictions between what he read in Bible and scientific discoveries about universe. Raised in Catholicism, Tyson was taught Earth is universe center, that everything revolves around it. However, starting reading astronomy and philosophy books in 1970s, he found what Bible described, Earth as flat, plain, and still, totally contradicted what science discovered about universe. In 1980s, studying at Harvard and Princeton, Tyson's thought change completed. He abandoned Catholic faith, not just abandoning belief in God, but rejecting all Christian labels. He identified as a science follower, no longer seeing religion as salvation source or absolute truth, because contradictions between science and religion increasingly clear, so Tyson couldn't turn a blind eye anymore. In 1999, Tyson publicly declared atheism in Holy War's essay. This was his first strong statement, putting end to all religious notions he once had. And a peak of this thought revolution was 2014, when he remade Cosmos, a famous science series. In this program, Tyson didn't hesitate attacking religion, even calling intelligent design philosophy of ignorance, while affirming science doesn't need God, but God needs science to prove existence. Tyson's views made Christian community, especially Black Christian community, strongly oppose. He faced heavy criticism, but at the same time became new generation atheism icon. He dared stand against religion's imposition, dared declare science and reason can explain everything religion denied. After decades tirelessly exploring universe with heart no longer bound by religion's limits, Tyson proved that. Faith formed from birth sometimes isn't that trustworthy. 8. Ndegeocello, queer icon rejects Baptist Church, accuses doctrine. Ndegeocello, famous bass singer, music producer, became LGBTQ+ community icon and Black queer music. Michelle grew up in a military family in Berlin and raised in Baptist community environment. Her mom worked health staff at church, and from very young, Michelle sang in choir, studied Bible, and taught homosexuality is unforgivable sin. But those doctrines shattered when she discovered she herself is homosexual. From young, Michelle had to memorize theory. Homosexuality is deadly sin, path to hell. But then, in 1980s, she gradually realized she's lesbian, and inner conflict started. She couldn't continue accepting church's harsh doctrines where people like her seen as demon-possessed, sinners. Battle between her feelings and family's, community's faith made her tormented and deeply mentally hurt. Finally, she chose path following nature, following her identity. In 1993, with debut album Plantation Lullabies, Michelle left strong mark with lyrics criticizing church. By 1996, releasing song Leviticus Faggot, she publicly criticized church doctrine again. She called church prison of distorted world, place not just imprisoning human souls, but creating endless mental harm. Song tells heartbreaking story of gay boy who freed himself after parents used Bible to beat and condemn him. This was music shock and strong accusation against how church used to oppress people like her. After that, Michelle also realized Bible tool justifying slavery. Stories like in Ephesians 6:5 or Leviticus 20:13 prove religion exploited to control and oppress weak communities. Those discoveries pushed her further from faith she was taught throughout childhood. And finally, Michelle declared, never return to church. Never go back and live openly with girlfriend. She became Black queer music icon, first winning Grammy 2021 for male artist with revolutionary music. Her music not just touches millions' hearts, but becomes voice for those marginalized, especially LGBTQ+ in conservative religious communities. 7. Queen Latifah, devout Baptist abandons religion after her brother's death. Queen Latifah, one of the standout icons in the entertainment industry, is a talented singer, actress, and film producer. Born with the name Dana Owens in Newark, New Jersey, Queen Latifah grew up in a family full of religious conflicts. Her father was a Muslim cop, while her mother was a Baptist teacher. Taken to church by her mom from a young age, Queen Latifah joined the choir and was seen as the golden girl of the church. Raised with a strong belief in a benevolent God, Queen Latifah became a true, devout lamb. But a tragic event completely changed her life. The sudden death of her brother in a 1992 car accident made her question the existence of a merciful God. Queen Latifah started thinking about things she'd never considered before. If God exists, why let this happen? That question haunted her forever, making her faith in God's plan collapse. She couldn't understand why an omnipotent and benevolent being could let such a tragedy happen in her devout family. Not only that, Queen Latifah is a lesbian, and she felt that religion trampled on her personal values. The feeling of being betrayed, abandoned by the very belief she'd once trusted wholeheartedly, pushed her to decide to abandon religion and seek a new path. In 2000, she officially left both Islam and Christianity, realizing that church and religion not only impose strict moral standards, but also use them as tools for control and oppression, especially for Black women and the LGBTQ+ community. In the years after, she lived openly with her lesbian girlfriend, Ebony Nichols, and in 2019, they had a child together, an action that further affirmed her determination to break the limits religion imposed on her life. She also no longer wants to be tied to nun roles or devout model images in films, because those roles only reinforce the faith values she's abandoned. Today, Queen Latifah is one of Hollywood's strongest Black LGBTQ+ icons. She's not just a successful artist, but also a pioneer in breaking down religious, cultural, and societal prejudices. Though her journey seeking freedom and right to live true to herself cost betraying God, opposing doctrines she once believed wholeheartedly, she has no regrets because she's found a new faith in herself and in love. 6. Killer Mike, grandson of Baptist pastor, frees Black people from white God. Killer Mike, famous rapper and social activist, is a music star with 3 consecutive Grammys. Born in a Black Baptist family in Atlanta, Georgia, with a mom in the church choir and grandpa a pastor, Killer Mike grew up wrapped in religion. From young, he sang gospel, taught that white God saves Black people. But as he grew, Mike realized the harsh truth beyond what he was taught. He saw the extreme poverty of the Black community, while churches got richer without any real moves to help the poor. Gradually, he discovered the white God image wasn't just a wrong reflection of religion, but a suppression tool, justifying slavery for 400 years. Bible verses his grandpa and church community always quoted now made him doubt. Ephesians 6:5, Colossians 3:22, all supporting slavery. When he started reading Malcolm X and studying Marxism, that doubt turned into action. In 2012, Killer Mike with LP formed Run the Jewels, and his rap lyrics are voices of resistance, directly criticizing church and white God dominating. He raised big questions about church's real function in Black community. His world changed forever. Killer Mike used music to smash white God image in Black community. By 2019, he created Church of Sleep in Netflix's Trigger Warning. Episode 3 created a liberation movement for Black people from white God influence, and Christian values he believed became enslavement tools. After George Floyd's 2020 death, he continued speaking strongly in Atlanta, criticizing what churches taught Black people for years. Churches taught us to pray instead of rise up. This is the biggest mark in his religion boycott journey. He completely abandoned Christianity, publicly declaring atheism and refusing all invites to religious events, especially speeches at big churches. At same time, he called everyone in Black community to stand against religion oppressing them throughout history, smash white God, and find a new freedom path, unbound by any oppressive beliefs. Today, Killer Mike has become an icon for religious revolution in Black community. With 3 consecutive Grammys, he's proved his betrayal is a cultural revolution. He's one of the pioneers for atheism movement in Black community, leading fight to regain freedom and rights for those oppressed for hundreds of years. 5. John Legend, church choir director, supports abortion, shatters doctrine. John Legend, talented singer and music producer, rose to become one of world's most famous stars with 12 prestigious Grammys. Born in Pentecostal family in Springfield, Ohio, John grew up in strict religious environment. His parents both church participants, from grandma organist to grandpa pastor. From very young, John strictly trained, learned church piano from 4, led kids choir from just 7, became adult choir director at just 12. He baptized, spoke in tongues, and joined church activities 6 to 7 days a week. Secular music strictly banned, non-Billy Graham films unacceptable. But then, all those became chains he had to fight to free himself. In early 1990s, studying at University of Pennsylvania, John started leaving church and switching to secular music. But after fame with 2004 Get Lifted album, he's still forced back to gospel music. Bound by doctrines, increasingly, he felt contradiction between traditional faith and real values he wanted. This became especially clear in 2018, when his wife Chrissy Teigen nearly died from placental abruption and doctors required abortion to save her life. That's when John hit big doctrine issue: abortion is murder. That tearing moment between wife's life and faith in God made John awake, reviewing all taught over years. Change in John's thinking not just stopped at changing abortion rights view. He started seeking answers for other Bible issues and found countless contradictions. Bible verses not just support slavery, but discriminate homosexuality, things he couldn't accept. He'd been taught God saves everyone, but now he realized God he worshiped just reflection of prejudices and oppressive systems in society. With these awakenings, John didn't hesitate sharing on Twitter in 2020. I used to be church choir director, now I support abortion rights. That's evolution. That line no different from declaration of war on Pentecostal community. Of course, for those still tied to doctrine, John Legend became betrayal model, and not long after, he completely boycotted by those in this sect. They couldn't accept someone once church darling could turn back on his faith. Though heavily criticized, John still continued living with new mindset, tirelessly working to maintain his secular music career. Sometimes he still performed old gospel songs in programs, but with completely new approach. Those songs no longer hold religious meaning for him, but culture, part of music heritage he's gone through, but no longer related to faith in God. 4. Jamie Foxx, church piano prodigy, abandons faith after stroke, thanks science instead of God. Jamie Foxx, one of Hollywood's brightest stars, conquered silver screen and made lifelong music hits. From outstanding role in Ray Charles to prestigious awards, Jamie became must in entertainment. But few know behind all glamour is past tied to extremely conservative religion. Born in Baptist family in Terrell, Texas, Jamie grew up in devout Baptist believers' strict discipline. His grandma, Esther Marie Talley, strict church believer who made him play church piano from age 5. Church was Jamie's second home. He went church 4-5 times weekly, taught secular music is devil's music, even watching TV band, except Billy Graham programs. Everything started changing when Jamie entered college. Freedom there pulled him out of church's strict rules. He started secular music, realizing religion's limits no longer fit his life, but had to play Ray Charles to really question his faith. Ray, music legend, had bumpy life. He fought fate, but not by faith, but by resilience and science. This role made Jamie deeply doubt things taught about God's salvation. And all faith in religion completely collapsed in 2019 when Jamie Foxx faced near-fatal stroke. Everyone expected he'd thank God for saving his life, but Jamie didn't. He looked straight at truth and said, "I thank science and doctors, not miracles." That's punch to model family and community imposed on him. But he ignored all, because moment doctors saved him like real miracle, but not kind falling from sky, but miracle of science, of humans. Near death made Jamie review everything. He no longer saw church as place protecting his soul. He started carving own path, unbound by religious standards. In 2023 interview, he publicly declared, "I'm no longer Baptist." He cut ties with past things believed over years. No more hymns, no prayer, no divine submission. Jamie now free with new beliefs, free pursuing what he feels right. Jamie's change result of years fighting what taught, times oppressed by things he couldn't accept. Though boycotted by Texas Baptist community, refusing pastor roles or devout images in films, because those roles only reinforce abandoned faith values, Jamie continued living way he chose. He supports abortion rights, publicly sides with LGBTQ+ community, and continues using voice against conservative values. Jamie Foxx chose abandoned nurturing faith to seek freedom and justice for all, not just believers, but all society marginalized. 3. Frank Ocean, writes bad religion, calling prayer, toxic unrequited love. Frank Ocean, real name Christopher Edwin Breaux, is a singer-songwriter recognized as a pioneer of alternative R&B. He was born into an extremely conservative Baptist family in New Orleans, Louisiana. From a young age, he was indoctrinated with sermons that homosexuality is a grave sin, a path leading to hell. His mother and grandmother, devout women, took him to church. 6 times a week, teaching him to sing in the choir and forcing him to live within the strict principles of religion. Weathering Hurricane Katrina, the Ocean family moved to California, but the ghosts of the past always clung to him, pushing him into a profound internal struggle between faith and love. In 2011, Frank Ocean wrote a confessional post on Tumblr, revealing that he loved a man. That admission not only shocked the music world, but also thrust him into fierce debates within the Baptist community. But that didn't deter him. On July 4, 2012, right before releasing the album Channel Orange, Ocean publicly acknowledged his sexual orientation, once again causing a storm in the music industry and religion. But that was just the beginning. In the song Bad Religion from the album Channel Orange, Ocean candidly speaks about the sufferings faith caused him, comparing prayer to toxic, unrequited love. Something he was taught was the key to liberation. For him, those prayers couldn't help him find love, faith, or salvation. The lyrics criticizing doctrine are like knives stabbing straight into the hearts of Baptist followers. When releasing Blonde in 2016, Frank Ocean was even more resolute in opposing every aspect of the religion he once adhered to. In the song Godspeed, though he sings with a church-like lyrical voice full of emotion, the lyrics express doubt and torment about the existence of a supreme being. It's a direct confrontation, a dialogue challenging faith worshipers. The way he expresses dissatisfaction in music has made many curious about his past. What made him so fierce in the war against religion? Frank Ocean's past haunts with years oppressed by church doctrine, times forced into gay conversion sessions through prayer, and even exorcism rituals. All that oppression propelled him to strongly rebel by deciding to publicly come out. And the more people criticized and opposed, the more he wanted to rebel fiercely in music. Now Frank Ocean has completely abandoned church, never returning and living openly with his boyfriend. He became an icon of the Black queer community, the first to win a Grammy for a male artist with revolutionary music. His music not only touches the hearts of millions, but also becomes a voice for those marginalized in society, especially those in the LGBTQ+ community within conservative religious communities. 2. Lil Nas X. From conservative Baptist to King of Hell, lap dances Satan and nails Jesus in shocking MV. Montero Lamar Hill, better known as Lil Nas X, is the rapper who broke records with Old Town Road, won multiple Grammys, and became a pop culture icon with bold style. He grew up in an extremely conservative Baptist family in Lithia Springs, Georgia. His family lived within strict religious molds. When his mother was heavily addicted to drugs, his father took on the spiritual pillar role, leading him to church, hoping to save his son from the wrong path. From very young, Lil Nas X was taken to church daily, singing in the choir, and taught that homosexuality is sin, a path to hell. Every night, the little boy had to kneel for hours praying, hoping he'd stop being gay. But right in those long prayer nights, a flame of rebellion sparked in his heart. In 2017, Lil Nas X started stepping into the music world, making music on SoundCloud, opening the door for his rebellion path. By 2019, everything really exploded. Contrary to what his family and church expected, Lil Nas X decided to come out as gay. On June 30th, 2019, at the end of Pride Month, he posted a tweet about his status. But he couldn't be satisfied with just that action. On March 26, 2021, he released the shocking MV Montero, Call Me By Your Name. The scenes in it terrified the whole world. Lil Nas X slides down to hell, performs a seductive lap dance on Satan, and finally he kills the devil and becomes king of hell. Never has an artist dared show such strong rebellion. And of course, those images made Lil Nas X fiercely criticized by a series of pastors and the Black religious community. People who couldn't accept him daring to trample the cross, their faith. But no one could stop him from continuing his path. With this action, Lil Nas X bluntly opposed what he saw as religion's oppression of the LGBTQ+ community, especially Black people. He no longer feared church curses, no longer prayed to stop being gay like his childhood days. He declared to the whole world, if hell is for him, then he'll become its king. Up to January 12, 2024, Lil Nas X continued stirring up the believer community with the track J Christ. In this song, he plays Jesus Christ himself nailed to the cross, but then resurrects, dancing in blinding light. Not only showing opposition to God, he also makes everyone ponder deeply about religious values taught for generations. Despite a series of pastors and Baptist community calling to boycott him, Lil Nas X wasn't shaken. He still continued releasing music products, selling millions of copies, and winning many Grammys and BETs. Lil Nas X succeeded not just in music level, but became icon of struggle against conservative, religious, and social standards, an unignorable voice for those wanting to live true to themselves, despite all discrimination. Boycott. 1. Angel Reese, Baptist basketball player, publicly comes out gay, challenges church doctrine. Angel Reese, a bright talent in WNBA basketball, is NCAA champion and nicknamed Bayou Barbie, with strong playing style and big off-court influence. She was raised in a conservative Christian family in Randallstown, Maryland. Her mom, former college basketball player, not only inspired her in sports, but also took her to Baptist church weekly. From young, Angel always taught homosexuality is wrong and God guides life. Those doctrines became guideline for her every action. Before each game, she often prayed, entrusting dreams and faith to God. But then, everything gradually changed when she knew what love is, true love with a girl. In 2023, she boldly publicly her relationship with lesbian girlfriend, singer Lotto, a decision stunning her fan community. Images of her with lover, Instagram stories flooded with affection with girlfriend became source of strong criticisms from Christian community, especially her fans in conservative Christian group. Harsh comments like betraying God, ruining sports image, or want my daughter to look at you and learn continuously surrounded on social media. But Reese still firmly held stance before all, continuing openly living with her true identity. After boycott, Reese no longer went to church or joined services. She hasn't had more moves against religion, but her action openly living and flaunting affection with lesbian girlfriend is strongest rebellion. She chose bravely face all, despite judgments from society, church, and even those who once loved her. As a lesbian in sports environment where most social values still dominated by traditional molds, Reese too fed up hiding her relationship, no longer wanting live in shadows of tacit understanding or rumors. Though knowing this action could make her lose big part longtime fans' support, Reese still accepted because she realized hiding not only denies herself, but also unfair to her lover. Whatever price she pays, her boycott by some fans also makes Black Christian community face painful truth. Does religion still have place for people like her? Perhaps the act seen as betraying God of these stars simply to seek self on path where faith and science intersect. Perhaps they just want peace in new thinking way. Maybe they believe new direction will lead them out of psychological chains faced from young. Whatever their purpose, their decisions changed their own lives and deeply impacted those around. What do you think about these stars' stories? Leave your opinions in comments below video, and don't forget, hit subscribe channel to not miss other corners in celebrities' world.